In a world where art meets storytelling and community meets creativity, one artist dared to blur the line between the cute and the creepy. Ghosts, creatures, and a whole universe born from imagination. And that's what she has gifted the world. Today, we're not just interviewing an artist, we're unlocking an entire universe of Mumbot. My name is Yumiko, and welcome to Shelf Life. All right, and today on the show, I've got Mumbot. Hello. I'm really excited. Okay, first up, I need to tell you this. You are the first female artist on the show of Shelf Life.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It is very big,
Wow.
especially for me. And this is all part of season 3, where I try to feature a lot more international artists. So thank you for coming on.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. Okay, so first up, I think we need to tell everybody, what is the world of Mumbot?
So Mumbot World is the world of all my characters, my original characters that I've created. They live in a magical forest, and they all have their own different lives and storylines. There's some lore around them, but also just in general, it kind of refers to everything that I create, you know, whether it be the art, the traditional art, digital artworks, or also the physical things you can hold, like the toys. And
It's very cute, and I do see that there are a couple of popular creatures in your world. There is what we call the Shumi Mushroomy.
Yes.
And this one I picked up because I saw it featured in one convention in Japan, and especially the one that you're holding in your hand. It's super, super cute, and they do come in a lot of whimsical colors, right? And they were all sold out, I would believe, when you were here in Singapore.
yeah.
Yeah? What are the other characters we can see in this world?
Yeah, so a few that I have here on display are a Ghost is the Ghost. It's actually my main character. Mossy the Moss Spirit, Shumi's BFF. Crispoo the Crystal Spirit. Scully B, not here right now. And Girl from the Forest Floor, who you can see there as well in the vinyl figure. I have a lot of other characters. Cloudy Puffs, Bobo, the Rainbow Spirit. Yeah, there are quite a few more characters, but those are some of the main ones.
Interesting. So going back in history, how long has Mumbot World been around?
Actually, so since I guess 2012 or 2008, maybe 2008. Yeah, officially, because that's around the time I started doing more Ghostess around then consistently. So quite a while.
Wow, long time coming. But I got to tell you that you do have quite a fair bit of fans here in Singapore.
Wow.
So I saw you at the convention, and there were just a lot of people crowding around your booth. And I saw that you had so many different types of art pieces on display. I also did my homework, okay? So in the US, you do have your products across a lot of different retail stores as well, right?
Yeah.
So you've got your plushies, you've got your figurines, and you've got your wearables, your apparels. And what more can we look forward to when we're talking about the world of Mumbot?
So besides the collectibles and the wearables, I also do a lot of digital artwork, new media kind of stuff that I've been experimenting with. I've been exploring, you know, like vibe coding and animation, and this is kind of something that I did back in, like, you know, my school days, art school days, but I've been doing more of that again as well, and just expanding all the different mediums that I can use to share the Mumbot world and the characters in the universe that I've been building.
How would you describe Mumbot World to a new fan?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm describing Mumbot World to a new fan, I might explain that it's a magical world with all of these nature-based characters and creepy, cute characters, like a Ghost is the Ghost, for example. Yeah, and they have, you know, I'm exploring how the interconnectivity of life and death, but in a kind of not too creepy, scary way, in a more lighthearted way, so that, you know, people can relate to it. I feel like we all have that. These are things that we all have in in life as humans. But also, I think making them cute characters is very approachable. So, and then the fact that they all have their sort of like little messaging, involved. Like, Shumi has a lot of energy and is really excitable, but, can maybe be, someone who you could relate to because they go full in on something and make mistakes and fail, and then you're like, oh yeah, I get that, right? But that's how you learn. And also messages of kindness, and patience. I think there are different like thoughtful messaging that I like to use my art to sort of like put out into the world.
And I think that's really amazing because for everybody to connect to a character is their own special preference or that little chemistry that they have with your character. Like for me, I think I resonate with Shumi Mashroomy.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of like me, right? Do all things and fail and then get somewhere at some point. But yeah, being very excited of all these characters here, which one would you choose? You would say closely resembles yourself.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. I feel like, yeah, because they all have a little bit of inspiration from someone I know, but also they all have a little bit of me as well, I would say.
Oh.
Maybe a ghostess. I'm not sure, but that's also a little bit maybe Mossy and a little bit Girl from the Fourth Floor and a little bit of Shumi. I don't know, it's really hard. It's really hard because I feel like I have a little bit of each of them. Mossy's very zen kind of vibes. Mossy's very like chill, the calm, quiet one, and a Girl from the Forest Floor kind of has like a very like wants to help, very much interested in, very curious, very interested in exploring and adventure. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's really a piece of the artist in every single character that you create, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna dive a little bit into more controversial questions, okay?
Okay.
Because seeing that you're the first female artist that I've got on the show, I need to ask. In terms of gender equality in the world of art, do you think there is a big difference in terms of, favoritism or allowance when it comes to a female creating art or a guy creating art?
This is an interesting question. I think, when you look at, maybe historically, I think that's probably true, but that's based on like systems and history and like how things have been sort of dictated from, who's had access to things. Okay, and if I'm gonna be honest, like I try to operate in such a way where I don't really allow that to be an issue for me. I mean, if it is, I just kind of like boop boop. Like I don't know. If I feel it, if I feel any kind of thing that might be blocking, the path to make something happen or build, I've just kind of always grown up with this sort of understanding that you just have to do, you just have to make, and you have to create. And so, yes, there are all kinds of things that are going to be trying to stop you. And of course, like feeling like maybe you don't have access to something because of your gender, that sucks. But I guess I don't even allow that to be a thought. I try not to, but I know that it's a thing. I know that it's real. I know that there are definitely, I guess another thing, I find like it might be my mission to break down that wall. Like if I feel, I won't name names, but it's controversy question time. So, if I have a friend who said that this one person doesn't like, seem to be interested in featuring women in certain shows. And I just asked, I said like, hey, like, can I be in the next show? And they were like, sure. Yeah, so then I found out more later, right? I was like, oh, did you know that like, you don't feature a lot of women in your shows, have you noticed? And they were like, yeah, we know, we're trying. And they were like, it's an issue, And I said, I was like, that's good you're trying. I was like, you should try more because you haven't featured a lot of women, and there's some other artists who notice and have mentioned it to me. But thank you for, it was so easy for me just to ask. And I think that sometimes that's the part of the issue, is that we just have to kind of like open up those conversations and be a part of the change we want to see. I think that's a big thing. And also, I'm just a person who would be like, I want to show everyone based on like their own what I like them. I like their art. I want to make a show where I'm including everyone. And so if you are feeling that this is an issue and that's your real experience, I'm who am I to say that's not your experience? But also, you can be the change. You can make the shows that include everybody.
Wow. So it really boils down to, if you never ask, you never know, right? To be given the opportunity or to be included in any shows or exhibition as well. And I think, it's having the courage to even ask rather than hearing it from somebody else. And in this whole world of art, right, what is one thing that annoys you or that you would remove?
Okay. One of my current biggest like issues as an artist, and I think for other artists as well, it's the fact that right now we are creating art with this like underlying awareness that everything has to fit into a format for social media or for your television set or for like your phone, right? Mostly phone. So you're thinking of all the art that you're creating, and then also you have in the back of your mind like, how can this work as content? How can this work in these different limited formats, which art shouldn't be limiting like that. And it's tough. It's really tough because that is just how the world is today. But again, that's always shifting. So it's tricky. But it drives me insane because I'm like, okay, well, am I making this in a 16:9 format? What am I doing here?
It is tricky because I think, after you create something, you need that little touch of exposure out into the world.
Yeah.
And the number one marketing tool is apparently TikTok and Instagram as well. So I guess, does it restrict your art?
Well, so it's weird because it's both. That's what's so complicated about it. It's so amazing. I'm so grateful that we have this option to share our work with the world, this digital world, right? And I'm super grateful for that. That's why I use social media regularly. That's why I use all the platforms and everything. But yes, in another sense, it is a little limiting, right? Because, because you have to have this like strategy for like how you're going to showcase this and what will actually get seen and how will it get seen, and the format that you share it in. So ultimately, it informs the size of art like that you work in sometimes, or, it gets complicated because you need it right now in this time, but yeah,
It's tricky. It is so tricky. I can feel your frustration already, but at the same time, with all of your art pieces kind of like being digitalized, then what is scarier for you? Is it the technology of AI art, or let me give you an instance, maybe a fan using your artwork for something else?
To answer your question, for AI, it just depends to me on the intention, okay? For any fan who wants to make something, if their intention was really just to show me like, I love your character so much and I made this whole scene, and that's really sweet. Like, that means the world to me. I love that. And that's a fine line between inspiration and, I just took this and it's mine now, and kind of how you want to put that out in the world is more malicious. That's a different intention. That doesn't feel good. So I think anybody can understand that. And that's basically my feelings on that.
So would it be okay if somebody took your art and just said, oh, inspired by Mumbot?
I think it depends how much they interpreted it on their own.
Okay.
And their intention, again.
So in your mind, do you think that toy art is finally getting the respect it deserves, or is the art of world still very snobby?
Oh, I think that's a good question too. That's like really interesting because I think, again, back to the social media thing, I think because of it, it's helped break down some of those snobby walls. They still exist, of course, but I mean, I just read a whole article about like the traditional art world is really struggling. And I don't know, I'm not like super into the traditional fine art world, but I do fine art and I do okay. I do pretty good. Like I have a nice, really supportive community, and I have, you know, I do know that the snobbiness is there, but I think that it is changing for sure, especially with, you know, the rise of like digital art and acceptance of all this new media formats of art, because you can't deny it. It is real. It's like, and there's people who want to collect that kind of art and support that kind of artwork, and are working in current relevant mediums, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I think that you know, if you're not accepting this, then you're gonna be like stuck in the past, like dinosaur bones, you know?
It is true because when people say fine art, they think about oil paintings, right? On canvases and stuff like that. It's something that's a little bit more pricey. I don't know how, maybe because of history value. But what if somebody were to look at your canvas and said, oh, Mumbot, it's too cute.
I've had that happen.
Yeah. Oh,
I have.
What was your response?
I laughed. I just don't believe that person. I like don't think that. I love going to all kinds of museums, and I love like historical master painters and stuff. You know, I love all that. You know, I think that it's just silly though to just be only focused on like an era of time. We should remember all of it. I love history. That's how we also learn, but also we learn from current people working and making art, like, you know, and it's part of what reflects the times that we're living in and the emotions people are dealing with in the now. So yeah, I mean, I just thought like that lady was silly because like a pop culture over the past like 30, 40 years, I mean, anyone from this entire past 40 years era of time relates to cute things.
It is true. Yeah, it makes people happy.
Yeah.
So the next time if somebody says, oh, it's too cute for fine art, I have a solution. You create a creature from the forest and send them running to them.
Yeah.
And chase them out. Yeah, I mean, right? It's good for laughs, and you just do that in, I don't know, animation format.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people should just be a little bit more open-minded when it comes to the world of art, right? A lot of things are misinterpreted, and I feel that things should always make you happy when you're looking at it, right? Whatever colors, whatever form it takes,
Or
but yeah.
make you feel something.
Yeah, to connect with that.
To connect with it.
Yeah, and you can relate to that character that tells your story as well. And you know, I've heard from a lot of artists that's what they really want to do. That is for whatever they create to resonate with their fans. And then you guys have such a lovely community. And I can see that that's happening for you because your community is just growing every single day. Out of the States, all the way here to Southeast Asia. And I know that a lot of Singaporeans are a big fan of your work. I've spoken to quite a few, so they are looking forward to having you here back in Singapore again. So I think, you know, when you guys watch this episode, you're going to be very excited to see that Mumbot is on set with me. Okay, so next question. What is the messiest part of your creative process?
Oh no.
Is it like colors all around?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I always have at least 5 to 10 different pieces I'm working on. And I have like stations. I have like my toys painting station. I have my like, you know, computer digital artwork area. I have paintings. I have drawings. And then I have like also like fulfillment. And it gets really, really, really messy. So yeah. It's not good.
And the family is okay?
No, no, it's bad. So I try to have my cleanup moments, but yeah, no. It's at least I'm good with like I've only made the mistake maybe twice where I like, you know, drank. I had my coffee. I dipped the paintbrush in there and I drank that.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yes. So, but it hasn't happened again. That maybe happened twice ever. But like I'm I learned my lesson.
But it's okay. It means that you're truly focused when you're producing art. Now, out of all the art pieces that you have created and brought them to life, what is, or is there a secret detail that your fans don't see or don't notice?
I do hide Easter eggs. One character that I've been hiding lately is Marudo, who's the sentient robot character. And he lives in the magical forest, but he's kind of like a villain-like character. However, he's secretly actually quite good. He just has some bad habits.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been hiding him like in the bushes, and his whole thing is that he's trying to collect all the nature spirits and creatures, and he's a collector, and so he's one of the Easter eggs in some of the pieces. Yeah.
Very interesting. Has any of your fans
Yeah, like who is that shadowy creature over there? Like who's that character? And I'm like, that's Marudo,
Oh,
Yeah.
so they really do pay attention in the little details. Interesting. Okay, so if Mumbot actually ruled the world, what would be the very first law to be passed?
More kindness only, I guess. I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah.
I advocate for kindness all the time. Yeah, but yes, sharing that love and keeping people happy, right? Small little actions, they do go a very long way.
I totally agree.
Yeah, small act of kindness, everybody. All right, so which of all the characters is very likely to start a fight in a bar?
Oh, Shumi, 100%.
I just relate myself to Shumi.
Yeah, Shumi.
Okay, don't bring me to the bar. I will start a fight. No, I'm kidding. Okay, do you think every artist secretly wants to build a universe of their own like you have done?
I don't. I know a lot do. But I know enough artists that I recognize that some have, they just want to be free-flowing, do whatever. You know what it is? It's interesting. This is a good question because not everybody has found something they don't mind doing over and over again, And then, I technically don't really like doing something over and over again either, but in terms of like focusing on certain characters that are favorite characters, I love these characters so much. So it makes it easier for me to keep incorporating them into my work.
Okay, so in this world, you are the only creator, right? Would you be open to have a co-artist or it's solely just you?
Yeah, I've actually had a lot of really fun collaborations with other artists, and one of my favorite things is to collaborate with artists who do other mediums that I don't work in, like pixel-based art, video game style. I worked with a friend who's a game developer. We worked on like an independent, little game in Unreal Engine. I've done a lot of really cool, fun collaborations with other artists where we both kind of put our spin on the thing and we do something together.
Wow, that's exciting. There's more collaborations up and coming?
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
For the fans?
Yeah.
All right, so my last two questions. What is something that your fans and friends can look forward to in the world of Mumbot?
Well, I'm gonna continue, working towards making some more toys. I have a few toys in the works currently, and I'm going to keep providing artwork and new mediums, new digital artworks and paintings. I have some shows coming up with all those artworks that I'm working on.
Oh, it's very exciting. So we have to check out your social pages just to find out where is Mumbot going to be next.
Yes, at Mumbot on everything. So,
yes, of course. Okay, so because you're the first female artist on the show, what is one simple advice you would give to budding new female artists?
I think don't try to remove the limitations, because we also create limitations on ourselves. I think I would say try to remove those limitations and just go for it, and obviously just keep creating. Because one thing is, if you are creating your best work, that is undeniable, and to anybody. So that's really important. Just keep going forward like that.
So once again, thank you so much for spending time here in Singapore with that little bit of time that you have right here on set with me. I think it is absolutely awe-inspiring, and I'm pretty sure everybody is super excited to have you back here again. So before we wrap up, would you like to say something to your Singapore fans?
Yes, thank you so much, Yumiko, for having me, and thank you so much to all the fans in Singapore for making me feel so welcome.
And hopefully you enjoyed this universe of Mumbot on this episode of Shelf Life. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.